5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being patient with me. This is Christian Brindle. I am your host of the Everything Medicare Podcast, and it is the 28th of October, 2018, and we are right dead set in the middle of the Medicare annual election period, AEP for short. If you've been a consistent follower of me over since we started this podcast earlier this year, then you know that one thing that I do is I own and operate an insurance agency that specializes and works with people on Medicare of all different situations and all over the different parts of the country, mainly in Utah because that's where we're located at. This time of the year, folks, is very, very difficult for us. It's very busy. We have a full plate. Up until recently, we were doing the podcast every Monday. Now we're going to be doing it every Sunday. But we have missed a couple of weeks during the enrollment period just due to the high volume of work and the workload that we've been having to put out there. So I apologize about that, but I'm back, and I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you coming every week to hear what we have to say in updates. So basically, in this episode, I want to talk about, in my opinion, the biggest thing that you should avoid this open season. Now, if you're on Medicare or maybe you're not on Medicare yet, the annual election period is the time of the year. It starts October 15th, goes through December 7th, where Medicare Advantage plans and prescription drug plans announce what changes they're going to be taking place on their programs with the different insurance companies for the next calendar year. And then you have basically that window, October 15th through December 7th, to make a change and get out of your plan if you don't like the changes or change to something better. Whatever the case might be. I wanted to give you some advice, and this is something that I've talked about in the past, about one thing that I think is tremendously valuable and important for you to avoid, and that is insurance brokers, people that identify themselves as experts in Medicare that are at booths. You'll see them at Walmart. You'll see them at grocery stores, depending on the part of the country that you live. You'll see them at Walgreens stores. You'll see them at Kroger stores. You'll see them all over the place. There's a reason why I tell you to avoid these people, because primarily, 9 times out of 10, you will see these people representing one insurance company. So there's 2 things that take place here. I know all about this because I've done this. I've worked with people that do this. Primarily, 9 out of 10 people that do this are brand spanking new to the business. The way that this works is the broker has to make an agreement with Medicare, the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services, because it's classified as an event in the Medicare world. They have to make an agreement with Medicare on a schedule that they're going to be there, and it has to be at least a certain amount of hours each week, typically about 20, 30, sometimes even 40 hours a week. And the only brokers that I have ever seen do this are brand new, meaning that they don't have any clients. They don't have anybody that they're working with. More importantly, they have no experience. Just think about it. If a broker has their busiest season during the enrollment period and they have time to sit at a booth all day, every day, week after week, how do they have time to do that if they're an experienced broker? I can tell you, I work with hundreds and hundreds of people. I would never have time to do one of those nowadays. I did one when I was new, my first year, to prove my point. But someone like that does not have time to sit at a booth and wait for someone to approach them if they have any type of experience whatsoever, because they have customers of their own, clients of their own that they need to be taking care of with, meeting with, servicing, reviewing their products and their plans. These brokers are brand new. They have nothing better to do, and that's the easiest way for them to get in front of people. So number one, they don't know what they're doing. They have no clue. They're the worst possible people that you can work with on your plans. I think you're probably better off putting 5 plans down in front of you in a line and randomly closing your eyes and picking one and signing up for that. I think you probably have a better chance of picking a good plan doing that than working with one of these brokers, because they probably don't know any more than you do. So that's first things first. If they do slightly more than the average bear, but not enough to help you make an accurate, informed decision. Stay with me into segment 2, and we're going to talk more about this. I think this cannot be stressed enough, and I think it's vital and incredibly important. Stay with me. Welcome back, folks, to segment 2 of the Everything Medicare Podcast, where every single week I bring you a podcast where I talk about your Medicare, your Medicaid, your Social Security, and everything that has to do with your retirement. We're talking about insurance agents and brokers in booths and why you want to avoid them like the plague. We talked about in segment 1 how brokers that like this, first of all, we know that they're brand new to the business, and so they just don't know what they're doing. They're brand new, they don't have any experience, they've never worked with anybody before, and this is their way of getting their feet wet in the industry. But anytime you work with a broker who's brand new to the business that doesn't know what they're doing, a broker learns based off of making mistakes. They go through growing pains, and that's how they learn, that's how they get better. You do not want to be their growing pain. Trust me when I say this, because you can end up in a situation where you're on a plan that's not right for you, or you can leave a plan that's worked out perfect for you and you won't be able to get it back. And it'll all be because you decided to work with an agent or a broker in a booth. We established in segment 1 that these people are brand new to the business. They don't know what they're doing. They hardly know any more than the average bear. Number 2, most of them, not all of them, but most of them are sitting at a booth represented by one specific insurance company. So they have an agenda, they have pressure put on them from the insurance companies to meet quotas and to sell that product individually, whether it's good for you or not. Why would you want that? Why would you want to work with an insurance company representative who is one-dimensional, even if they're independent and they carry all the companies, while they're at that booth? They can only talk to you about that one company. I'll share with you a bit of my personal experience. When I was brand new in this business many years ago, my first open enrollment season, I think I had 20 clients that I worked with at the time. It didn't take a whole lot of my time. So something that I was suggested for me to try was a booth, and it was at a Smith's store. For those of you who don't know what Smith's is, it's basically a Kroger-owned franchise here in Utah. And I was sitting at a booth that was a United Healthcare booth. First of all, I matched my own definition of the stereotype. I was brand new to the business. I hardly knew anything. Number 2, I was sitting at a booth for United Healthcare. I wasn't allowed to speak about any other insurance companies while I was there. It's a Medicare mandate, folks. They are actually required by Medicare to not give you objective information. It's ridiculous. It's a joke. But it's the way it is. So, not only are you working with a new agent who is not experienced, who hasn't had their growing pains, their lumps, in order to make them knowledgeable about what to do in a certain situation or what to recommend for a certain person, but they also are biased. They represent one company. I know, like I said, there are booths where they represent all the companies or multiple companies, but you still have the problem of these people that they don't know what they're doing. They're brand new people. I'll go to the store and I see these agents just sitting there. You know, they just sit there waiting for someone to approach them. Any experienced insurance professional that's been doing this a long time will be busy up to their eyeballs with stuff to do. They do not have time to just sit there. That's how you know these people are new. Nothing against new people. I'm sure some of them might be good insurance brokers someday. But 90% of people that work in the insurance industry as a broker are out of the industry in a 3-year period. Keep that in mind. They're out of it in 3 years. So 90% of insurance brokers that you work with will be out of it in 3 years. And you'll be stuck on the plan all by yourself. So keep that in mind. That's very, very important. I'm well beyond that 3 years myself. I'm an enigma. I'm unusual. because I've lasted longer. I'm in that 10%. Stay with me into segment 3 and we will wrap this puppy right up. And I hope you listen to what I'm saying. Avoid these people like the plague. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for staying tuned. Thanks for listening all the way through. This is the third and final segment to wrap up what we're talking about with these agents. If you're going to work with somebody, it has to be someone that knows what they're doing. Number one. Number two, you have to know that they have no biases at all, because everybody is different. Everybody has different needs, preferences, and different insurance companies and different insurance products fit different people's needs specifically. Medicare is definitely not a one-size-fits-all plan, and that's what you want to avoid. You want to find someone that knows what they're doing and is ethical enough to tell you what's best for you. And you can't get that with someone that's new, and you can't get that with someone that is specifically a representative of one insurance company or is in a deal with an insurance company where they have to represent that one insurance company. So keep this in mind. Now, if you live in the state of Utah and you'd like to review your plan for next year with somebody that you know will tell you the truth, that you know is unbiased, that you know will tell you if you're on the best plan or not, you are always welcome to call my offices. Christian Brindle Insurance Services, part of Brindle Insurance Group. We're a family-owned organization. We've been going for about 30 years. I grew up around this stuff because my dad has been working in this stuff for, like I said, since the late 80s, early 90s. So I was fortunate. I started very young. I've been doing this for many years. And Medicare is our specialty. It's all we do. We're experts in that one thing. So you're welcome to call our offices at 801-572-3808, 801-572-3808. If you live in Utah, you're welcome to give us a call, and I can sit down with you and give you a personal consultation, no charge. Also, if you live in the states of Idaho and Florida, we help people in those areas as well. So give us a call. We'll give you a free consultation, a free quote, whatever it is that you'd like to look at. Also, if you live in any other of the 47 states, we will be working in those areas at some point, but right now we're only working in those 3. So if you'd like a guide to know what to do with your Medicare, you are welcome always to pick up a copy of my book, Medicare Guidance, Picking the Right Plan for You. It's a book on Medicare. It's an easy read. It's 50 pages. It's got big font. You can probably get through it in a day, if not a few hours. And there's a chapter on everything that you need to know. If you read that book, folks, you will know more about Medicare than all of your friends, family, acquaintances, neighbors, everybody. And you'll know what to do, more or less. I mean, you will know probably more than your broker does if you read that book. It's unbiased. It came right from my head. So everything I know, I poured into that book. Check us out on Amazon if you'd like a copy of it. Search on Amazon because that's where it is. Christian Brindle, Medicare Guidance, Picking the Plan for You. It's a red book with an old railroad Medicare card on the cover. We'll be updating the cover fairly soon because the new Medicare cards have come out. But go over, pick up that book. It's on sale right now for $5.50. For that price, we are practically giving it away because that book contains so much valuable knowledge that you cannot get anywhere. If you've ever tried to find unbiased information about Medicare on the internet, it's practically impossible. They're all websites that are designed to draw you in, to give your contact information so people can harass you, call you. This is not that. This is a book that will actually tell you what you need to do. And it's the only one out there, to my knowledge, that actually is available that cuts out all the BS. Folks, as always, if you enjoy our content, if you enjoy what we bring you every week, please go ahead and leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening to us on, whether it be iTunes, Apple, Spotify, our friends at Anchor, Google Cast, wherever it is. We're broadcasting to you on about 25 different platforms. And follow us on your favorite social media on Facebook, Christian Brindle Insurance Services, on Twitter, Christian Brindle without the E because we couldn't fit it all, on YouTube, Christian Brindle for educational Medicare videos, on Instagram, Christian Brindle Insurance, and on LinkedIn, Christian Brindle. We're posting free content all the time to try to make your Medicare experience easier, to make this stuff simple and easy to understand. I appreciate you listening, and I will see you folks next week, and I hope you have a fantastic and happy Halloween. Bye-bye now.